And we're back here in Munich, Germany at Olympiahalle Arena, where it is packed with fans, the energy is in the air, and Money in the Bank is finally here, Ben said as fans in the arena cheered, waiting to see what happens next. Just then, a promo started playing on the Tron. It was a scene of a woman in a prison, chains binding her ankles and wrists. I never got to show my true potential. Her head turned to the camera, revealing Iron Maiden. She brushed her long hair aside. That pet bird took all my freedom, my livelihood, but not my soul. Scenes of her life began to show. It was her studying in what looked like to be a living room. Now remember, Tessa, the family is built on academic success. The Corlin family must stand strong. Yes, Mother. Her mother came in the room. You've got a great life ahead of you, but the family name stands strong. You would want to make our ancestors proud, right? I guess, Tessa said, tiring of this. It was the same speech every few days or weeks. If she got lucky and stayed at a friend's house, she could avoid the long lectures. You don't want me to let a bunch of dead guys that I'll probably never meet in my lifetime and that I should go to complete whatever you guys did and whatever. Her mother looked sad. Why do you sound disappointed at this? I want to be an actor. An actor? That's not what our family does. We do academics and academics only. You are going to be something that will change the world for the best, not engage in the depravity that is acting. That decision is final, her mother said as she walked out, leaving her to stare at a poster on her wall that was signed by Link, the current WWE Undisputed Champion. She yearned for something else. It jumps to her older, about 12. She sat in front of the flat screen, watching as Stone Cold Steve eliminated Taker from the Royal Rumble. I want to do that, she thought to herself. Just then, her dad walked in, still in his professor attire, taupe trench coat with a navy blue suite, white pressed shirt, and black tie. He stood there in the doorway, observing her like an animal he would study after a dissection in a lab. Why do you watch that entertainment they call wrestling? Does it help you learn more or take away from the time you should be using for your studies? You are ruining the Corlin family. He yelled, grabbing the remote to shut it off. She stared longingly at the blank screen. I want to do that, she said. Oh, really? She nodded defiantly at him. But your studies? Your potential? She interrupted him. I believe that acting is one of the ways that I can represent the family. It's always the same thing you tell me that I will let my whole family down if I don't do exactly what you guys did. I don't want to do that. She was older now in her 20s. She was in college on the best spelling bee team in intergalactic history. All right, Tessa, the moderator said, her voice sounding like a massive hammer hitting an anvil. Your next word is sesquipedalian. Her face turned white. Shit, she thought, as she quickly recalled the many words she practiced beforehand. It wasn't there, or perhaps she skipped over it. Sus, Q, Ian. And that's your final answer? She nodded. There were a couple of words she knew, but she messed up horribly on. At the end of the night, she found out she was cut from the team. Luckily, her parents weren't there to shame her even more than the shame she felt. She went on to graduate the college giving a speech, unaware of Paul Heyman's presence in the crowd. I want to thank all of the people who helped me this far, for if it weren't for them, I don't know where I'd be. In her head, she thought, I would have gotten to start my wrestling career earlier. She continued her speech. Although I am content with what I have accomplished with my academic success at this university, there is more that I yearn for. I am supposed to represent my family who has discovered things unexplained in their lifetimes. I was told that if I studied my hardest, I would get to good places. I understand that the people in my life want to see me succeed, and that is good. What does that mean if only the name is held higher than the accomplishments? I desire something else, something more to my liking, and that is wrestling, and I am going to represent the name of my family, however I please. Everyone cheered as she bowed, leaving the stage. She caught a glimpse of her parents, both looking surprised and disappointed. You really want to do this? Her mother began to tear up. You would throw a future of success away, tarnishing the family name for centuries? You would... Tessa interrupted her. This isn't about you or the family. This is my life, my dream. I thought it was crazy, but this is what I want to do. Sure, our family is filled with scientists and philosophers, and sure, we're related to Albert Einstein, and that's really cool. I want to do what I think is right. Tessa was defiant. I am going to wrestle. It had been a few weeks. Unbeknownst to Tessa, Paul Heyman was working behind the scenes to get this Tessa woman connected. He was at Harvard scouting for talent. It was the only reason he was there. The speech she gave was all right. Not anything to write home about, but the way she delivered it was amazing. He made a few calls to the higher-ups, reaching out to Triple H. Somewhere in the middle of the week, Tessa got a call from an unknown number. She didn't answer it, but then it left a voice message. She listened to it. Here's what it said. "Hello there, is this Tessa Corlin? This is Triple H, and I am calling because one of our talent scouts think that you might have a potential future with us in the WWE. If you're interested, then give me a call at this number." What the hell, she said to herself. Triple H? Paul Triple H Levesque? I must be dreaming or something. She pinched herself. Ouch. That was real. Wouldn't hurt to call back. The scene cuts to her in development as the voiceover continues. "I worked hard, made it through development, became NXT Women's Champion, and now here I am, recovering from that brutal match." The scene cuts to the fight with Raven. Raven beating her with a weight belt, causing her to bleed. "Raven, you better watch your back, because you're number one on my list." The screen faded to black as Iron Maiden made her way down to the ring. Just then, someone's theme music played. It was Raven. "What's she doing here? Doesn't she know we're about to start Money in the Bank?" Isaiah asked. "The Brotherhood runs on no one's schedule but their own," Ben replied. Raven came down from the rafters, planting herself in the center of the ring, the crowd booing her. So the former scientist or whatever you were going to be decides to go against her family's wishes, only to get her dreams cut short by the Brotherhood. If that's what keeps you up at night," Iron Maiden snapped back. "I knew what I was doing when I signed up for this. It's a disgrace to see what you have become. Oh well, either way, you better watch your back tonight because that Money in the Bank briefcase is mine." Laughing, Raven said, "How did you make that prediction research? You know all my moves and what I'm going to do to you?" Iron Maiden shook her head. "Not this time, Raven. I haven't touched a book since I got here." "We'll see if your hypothesis is right, because mine says otherwise," Raven said as the women left the ring, glaring at each other. Monty took his spot at the podium. The following is scheduled for one fall. It is the Money in the Bank match. The arena popped off. "The arena is completely sold out tonight, over 13,797 WWE fans on hand," Ben said. "For this match," Monty began, "there are no disqualifications, no pinfalls or submissions. The only way to win is to grab that briefcase hanging high above the ring using any means necessary. Inside the briefcase is a year-long contract that allows the winner to cash in at any time, anywhere, and any place." The fans cheered. Then, Paul Heyman came up next to Monty. Taking the mic, he started to speak.
"Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman."
"Ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you today and before the WWE Universe." The Berlin crowd cheered, chanting Aries' name. "We want Aries! We want Aries!" Paul Heyman smiled wickedly. "Oh, don't worry, Berlin," he said as he looked up at the hanging briefcase above the ring, as Aries stood tall next to him, his armor turning into a leather biker jacket. He took the mic from Heyman. "I hope that you prayed real hard, my great, Rev." He paused, his smile getting bigger. "The Olympians called, they want you sent off to the Undertaker himself." The crowd cheered some more, going into a song.
"You fat bastard! You 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 fat bastard!"
The Rev scowled at Aries. You know what? Why don't you all shut the hell up and bow to me?" Chuckling, Aries had an amused look on his face. "You're standing in front of a god, you son of a bitch." The Rev didn't react. "If you're a god, then I'm a god killer." Aries shrugged, looking to the timekeeper. "Why don't you ring that damn bell so I can kick this son of a bitch's ass?" The rest of the wrestlers came running into the ring. Duncan going for one of the ladders sitting ringside. "There's Duncan. He's going for the briefcase with the Rev behind him," Ben exclaimed. Rev turns around only to be faced by the God of War himself and receives a massive clothesline for his troubles. "You know what, Rev? There's a lot of reasons I'm here, and one of them's to kick your ass," Ares exclaimed as another ladder was being set up. Vindicator slowly climbs up to the top. The camera switches to Vindicator. "Vindicator is hungry for that briefcase," Isaiah said. Not hungry enough because he's got bigger issues as the warden pulls him down onto the ring. Something glinted in Vindicator's hand. Is that a pound of titanium?" Ben asked. "Right you are, Ben," as he goes to pummel the warden, right hand to the midsection. Warden super kicks Vindicator, knocking the ladder into Ares. Here comes Ray Parker. Moonsault kick to Duncan's spine, sending him outside of the ring. Looks like Duncan's out. He better make it back before Katie Chapman starts counting. 1. The crowd began to count. 2. Duncan crawled towards the ring, going under it. A few seconds later, he came out with a trash can. "What the hell?" Ben said as Duncan jumped back into the ring. "Is that even allowed?" "Anything goes, Ben. As long as one person gets up to that briefcase, it's all at war, something the God of War would know about." Across the ring, Ray Parker climbed to the third rope, spotting the trash can. "What is in the mind of Parker?" Ben asked. Hopefully not that as he flies across the ring going after the trash can. He misses, hitting the Rev instead, Isaiah yelled as the crowd popped. The Rev's gonna have a word with him sometime after as he gets up and glares at Parker. "Has paranoia set in yet?" Isaiah asked. "He's been in control for about 10 years. Something's gotta give." "Beats me. I don't want to find out. Ooh, Duncan hits Parker with the trash can," Ben exclaimed. He hit him several more times, then threw it aside, Chapman removing it from the ring. Raven appeared ringside, looking around. Then she went under the ring, only to reappear with a handful of chairs. "What is she doing here?" Ben asked. "I don't know, but it doesn't look good as she takes flight to the rafters. And oh my God, she's pelting the ring with chairs, hitting Duncan and the warden." Duncan and Link jumped out of the way as one of the chairs nearly hit them. "She's not out of chairs," Ben said as more chairs came raining down. "Today's forecast. Sun 100 of Raven, followed by 100 chance of chairs," Isaiah laughed. "How long have you been sitting on that one?" Ben asked. "I just came up with it. I used to be a weatherman for one of the news stations." Warden lining the ladder up right below the briefcase. No one's there to stop him as he makes his way up. Remember, it's a free-for-all. It doesn't matter if you're in a faction or your best friend is in the ring with you. It's fair game as Link climbs up after Duncan. Link and Duncan were on the top rung of the ladder when Ray Parker flipped onto the rung below them, pulling at Link's leg. Link lifted his leg, kicking down. Ray didn't let go. His grip got tighter. "You're trapped, son. What you gonna do about it? That case is mine. The briefcase belongs to the Brotherhood." "Who said it was yours?" Duncan replied curtly. Link reached down, bending each of the fingers back, releasing his leg. Suddenly, a kendo stick fell from the rafters, just above where the 3 wrestlers were. Link and Duncan dove for the stick, only for Ray to snatch it first. Raven helping out the Brotherhood, Ray has the weapon now as he takes a swing at Duncan. Ray readying himself for one more swing at the dangerous one, and the brutality of Parker. He doesn't care who's in his way, and he shows no mercy. Ray kicked one of Duncan's legs, causing him to fall off of the ladder. "Brotherhood's not messing around today," Ben said as Duncan rolled away, avoiding a splash from Ray. Duncan going up to the third rope, and now Duncan with the Swanton bomb, and it connects with Ray, Isaiah exclaimed. There's Vindicator sneaking behind the ladder. Turn around, Duncan. Raven dropped down from the rafters outside the ring. Chapman, spotting her. Chudriker. Eli Hammer, placing a ladder across the ring. Wise choice if he doesn't want to get messed with by the Brotherhood, Isaiah said as Hammer made the climb to the top. He attempted to reach for the briefcase, but he realized it was too far away. The ladder began to shake as Aries and the Rev grapple with each other, trading knees and attempting to put one another into submission holds. Aries Irish whipped the Rev into the ropes only for him to loosen the turnbuckle, untangling himself. Rev's up to something, and it's not going to be good, Ben said. When is it ever good? His track record has actual deaths on it. Has anyone thought to put him away? Isaiah returned. The old saying is true. Money talks. He's got to be paying someone to keep him out, Ben said. Rev tries, rolling out of the ring. Aries dives to grab him, climbs to the third rope, and that's a sleeper hold. The Rev's got nowhere to go. What is the God of War planning to do? The answer came about 5 seconds later.
Powerbomb!
Aries is having fun with him, Ben said as the God of War dropped Rev onto the floor below. Duncan was halfway up the ladder when he spotted something shiny in Raven's hand as she passed it to Ray. I'm going to win this for my family, my cousin, Duncan thought as he climbed higher, the black briefcase getting closer. Other superstars were trying to set up ladders. Just then, Duncan felt someone hit the bottom of the ladder. Looking behind him, he saw Ray ascending towards him, the lights glinting off a set of brass knuckles. He looked at them again, noticing the engravings which had his initials. The left knuckle had the flag of Japan where he was born, and the right one had the flag of America when he came to the States with his family. Liv gave me those as a Christmas gift, Duncan thought. What those bastards do to you, Liv? He thought. Every now and then, Ray would taunt him, saying, These mean a lot to you, don't they? How the hell you get those? Duncan asked angrily, looking over at Raven. You could say a little bird gave them to me so I could use them to beat you with them. What's the point of that? Duncan thought. Some kind of test? Up until this point, Ray was calm and collected. Now he had a swag about him. He acted as if he just won the whole thing. It's not over yet, Duncan reminded him. Ray was almost there. Think fast, Duncan thought as he went for the first attack. What the hell? This man's crazy, Ben exclaimed. I think he's got a plan as he locks Ray's arms behind him, turning him around. Ray faced the crowd. Isaiah, I don't know if you saw a minute ago. Ray had something sticking out of his trunk's pocket. I don't want to know what he's got. Duncan looked like he was about to have a date with those knucks, Isaiah said. Looks like he did, and it's a pair of handcuffs, Ben exclaimed. Ray said, I really don't know how those got there. Wore different trunks than my usual ones. They might have slipped in there on accident. Ben and Isaiah were laughing. An accident? Save that for the courts. I don't know how you could do that, Ben said. This is the Brotherhood after all. They'll do anything to get ahead. Can Duncan use these to his advantage? Duncan works quickly, climbing down the side of the ladder. Ray was trying to get Raven's attention, but she was nowhere to be seen. He saw Rev was on the floor, knocked out cold. Link and Vindicator were fighting on one ladder. The Warden and Hammer got into a fight which broke outside of the ring, and Aries was in the crowd, looking quite amused. Working fast, Duncan locks one of the cuffs to the side, then locks Ray's arm in the other. Smirking, Duncan watches as Ray makes a feeble attempt to free himself. Shit! He screamed. The crowd was cheering for Duncan as he reached the top, freeing the briefcase from the chain. And your winner, your new Mr. Money in the Bank, the Demolition Man, Dangerous Duncan.